Hey guys, hope you're all well, and in today's video we'll be covering all the basics to do with calorie counting and everything I've learned so far. What is a calorie? How many calories do we need per day or week to lose, maintain or gain weight? Mindset tips, fad diets, why protein is important, high volume eating, other macros such as carbs, fibre and fats, food comparisons and swaps that I've made in order to help me lose 70 pounds. Let's go. Quick disclaimer, I am not a professional or dietitian. I'm just a girl on the internet sharing my journey in hopes that it will help you on yours and hopefully you'll learn something. So take everything with a grain of salt and just apply whatever tips you want. So you might want to grab a notebook and pen for this video because there's going to be a lot of information here for you today. So first of all, what even is a calorie? A calorie is a unit of energy. In nutrition, calories refer to the energy people get from the food and drink they consume and the energy they use in physical activity. I feel like a lot of people have a bad connotation when they hear the word calorie. They think it's all bad, when really it's just the energy we burn and the energy we eat, or like the food we eat is basically energy. That's why you may have heard people say it's all about calories in and calories out, which is true. Obviously some calories are more healthier foods than others, but it essentially is about that. If you eat more than you burn, then you will gain weight. If you eat less than you burn, you'll lose weight. That's basically the science of it. And that leads me to the second point. How many calories do we need per day or week in order to lose weight, maintain or gain weight? So I'll show you quickly a website that I use. It's called tdee.net, and here you choose imperial or metric. I will go for metric, female, age 28, 80 kilos. It's all that Christmas food. Height 171, activity level, I do exercise 2-3 times a week and I do 10,000 steps on average a day. I run around 2 small kids, so I will put light exercise though. It's better to underestimate than overestimate. And then you go to calculate. So here it gives me stats. So my maintenance calories are 2,156 per day. And also, if you didn't know, you can actually eat different amounts per day as long as it all adds up to your weekly allowance, I should say, so 15,000 to maintain. If I eat that within a week, I will maintain. So I can eat 3,000 calories one day and 1,500 another day, but at the end of the week, it all should add up to 15,090. And I'll still maintain. You can see the difference here if on your exercise levels. If you were more moderate exercise, your maintenance calories will be higher. If you were more sedentary, your calories would be lower. So it gives you a bit more information here on your ideal weight, your BMI. I'm technically still in the overweight bracket, but it's all right. And then if you go down here, it will give you a few options of like the balance of all your macronutrients. So you can look at that, you can look just at your calories. So you can change here maintenance and cutting, which means basically losing weight. So if you want to lose weight, it usually gives you a deduction of 500 calories. So in my case, I would have to eat 1,656 calories a day in order to lose weight. And then if you want to bulk, then you check next to it and it will add 500 calories. So if we stick onto the cutting and go down, it gives you like different options to how much you could eat a day. But if this is too complicated, if you're quite new, I would say don't worry about that and just focus on your calories and eat high protein, which we'll cover soon in the video. All of these things, they are all averages. Nothing is 100% accurate with all these calculators and everything. So this is all an average. So as a woman who's trying to lose weight, I wouldn't go lower than 1,500 calories. If you're going down to 1,200, that is a toddler's calories. Like there's no need to go that low because you've got nowhere to go from there, if that makes sense. It's better to start as high calories as possible for you to eat whilst you're still losing weight gradually, rather than just cut it all dramatically and then you have nowhere else to go, if that makes sense. And you don't want to be hungry, you don't want to be starving, you know, you don't want to make this a miserable journey. So it's better to start higher rather than all the way down here. So the next point is mindset. It's a marathon, not a sprint. You didn't put weight on, I didn't put weight on overnight, in a week, in a month. even years, you know, it's a gradual thing of putting weight on. So you can't really expect to get rid of it that fast, you know, like you get them diets, you know, lose 10 pounds in 10 days. That's all BS. Honestly, it's BS, because you're going to lose those 10 pounds maybe, be hungry, starving, miserable, and then you're just going to hate it, and you're just going to go back to your old habits, and you're going to put that weight on plus more. It's going to take time. Slow and steady wins the race. That's my first tip when it comes to losing weight and your mindset and how you approach it. Weight fluctuation. So there's many factors why your weight fluctuates on a daily basis. Yes, on a daily basis. One day you might be 155 pounds and then the next day you'll be 160 pounds. Like, you can just gain 5 pounds overnight, and it doesn't mean that it's fat. There's so many factors that come into hand. So how much salt you've consumed, if you've exercised, how well you've slept, if you've had any food already, what time you weigh yourself, if you've been to the toilet, that will definitely make a difference, a few pounds here or there. And that's one of the other things. Don't be hard on yourself. It is a journey. You will make mistakes here or there. You just have to give yourself some grace and just move on. You know, it's not the end of the world. One bad day will not spoil your 50 days in a row doing well, if that makes sense. So don't be hard on yourself, please. Weighing. So when I first started, I used to weigh myself every single morning. Like every morning after I've gone to the toilet, before I had anything to sort of drink and eat. And that's how I've learned about the whole weight fluctuations. Like, I saw it with my own eyes. But now looking back at like my chart on my tracking app, my weight loss is not like this. Like, it's not, when I zoom out, it's not like this. It's like, it's not like this. Weight fluctuates on a daily basis. However, when you zoom out, it's constantly going down, right? Because you're still losing body fat, but it's not overnight and it's not quick. But if you don't have the greatest relationship with the scales, I know some people don't weigh at all, or they weigh weekly, monthly. You can also do that. It's obviously up to you. It's your own personal journey. This is just what worked for me. Other methods of tracking your weight and progress. Measurements, you can just measure your arms, your legs, your thighs, your wherever you want, in order to see if you're gaining or losing in those areas. You can take progress pictures, and those can be for you. You don't have to post them. Like when I first took mine, I didn't think I'll be posting them anywhere, right? So they can be just for yourself. Your clothes, when I first started, I was a size 20, and now I fit into a 10-12. Clothes are a big indicator, and it just shows you physically, like, wow, I've fit into these or these, and it just gives you a little bit of a more motivation and a boost. And also people noticing, like people will probably notice your weight loss before you notice, because you see yourself every day in the mirror, and some people don't see you every day, and when they see you they're like, oh, okay, is that you? Sustainability. How you lose it is how you will keep it off. Focus on adding things in rather than taking away. It will feel less restrictive, or like you're restricting yourself. So for example, with every meal, try have some veggies on the side, or some salad on the side, or some fruits. Try to think about adding healthier foods and healthier options to your diet rather than taking things away. And eventually what will start happening is, like, it will start filling up. So all the good things will start coming in, and the bad ones will, or not so good ones I should say, will start kind of coming out by themselves. It's like a slow lifestyle change. Like, I think with this, you can't just do it quickly. Yeah, because if you do it quickly, it's possible, people have done it, but it's not going to be sustainable. You won't keep it off. So there's no point in going through this yo-yo dieting and gaining, losing, gaining, losing. So the best thing would be is building small habits and losing the weight slowly, gradually, and in a healthy way, and everything in moderation. I like to call this 80-20 rule. I've mentioned it in my first video that I've done. 80% of the time you track, you focus on eating well, including more whole foods and healthy foods, and you think about what you're eating. You try and be healthy in that sense. And then 20% of the time you go live your life. Birthdays, there's parties, there's gatherings, Christmas, Easter, like enjoy the takeaways, foods and family time. Like, still enjoy your life, but is 20% of the time, not 100. And when it comes to habits, it's a game changer. Honestly, I read this book by James Clear, Atomic Habits. I will link it for you in the description. If you've never read it or heard of it, start there, honestly, because it makes a huge difference. It just teaches you about how those small little changes compound over time to the big changes we want. Because that's why quick diets don't work, because they're quick changes, big changes, and they don't last. But when you build those small little habits over time, you've almost changed how you act, how you behave. You no longer need to change dramatically anything. You've just, you are how you are now because you've done all these little small habits as time goes on. And last of all, the all or nothing mentality. Something is better than nothing. Honestly, I used to have this mindset myself where if I didn't eat well in the morning because I woke up late, just ordered McDonald's or something, and I'll just like not bother the rest of the day. That is basically what I mean by all or nothing mentality. Just because you messed up one meal or you didn't make the best choices, it doesn't mean you have to give up on the whole day. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can just have that McDonald's breakfast, but then think about a healthier lunch, think about a healthier dinner, and that's how you balance it all. That's where the 80-20 can come in. Yeah, okay, that morning I might have had the McDonald's. I don't do that every day. All of this you learn as you go. You don't just wake up and you'll be like, oh, I know how to do everything, and you know, you'll make your mistakes. That's why I said to you earlier, give yourself some grace. Yeah, you're not going to be perfect. You're not going to just get it right every day, all day, and tick off all the habits and all the boxes every single day. Sometimes I'll drink all my water, my 2 litres in this bloody massive bottle. Some days I won't. I hardly drink a glass because I forget to fill this up. If you're trying to make a habit of drinking 2 litres a day, one thing you can do is make sure you fill this up the night before and put it in your kitchen or put it next to your kettle where you make your coffee or something. That's what I like to do. And best believe, when I do that, I will most likely drink the whole thing. If I don't fill it up the night before, I forget. Anyway, moving on. Fad diets. Now, don't get me started on these. We touched a little bit on that, but you've got soup diets, smoothie diets, carnivore, no carbs, no gluten, dairy-free. Unless it's dietary requirement, obviously you're allergic to dairy, you can't have dairy or gluten, fair enough. But to cut out food groups completely is not good. It's not sustainable, because if you love pasta, you love carbs, you love rice, you love potatoes, and all of a sudden you're like, no carbs, I'm gonna cut it all out. Guess what? You can do it for a week, for 2, but it's not sustainable. You're gonna go back to your old ways. You're gonna eat that pasta, you're gonna eat the potatoes, you're gonna eat all that rice, and you're gonna gain the weight back. This is what I was saying to you earlier about being sustainable. Don't cut out any food groups unless you need to for dietary requirements, because it's just gonna make you miserable. If you love your pasta, eat the damn pasta. Learn about portion sizes, eat in moderation, because one thing I can tell you, when I first started tracking, I used to have about 3 portions of pasta on my plate every time I had pasta, because I just couldn't. Sorry, my son just came in, I had to sort him out. All those fad diets, they do the same job as calorie counting. They put you in a calorie deficit. The only thing is they just make you cut out certain food groups or like drink your calories all day long instead of eating proper food. Again, it's not sustainable. This is why calorie counting has changed it for me. You can eat everything. If I wanted to, I could eat McDonald's every day and lose weight. Yeah, I could. All you need to do is just make sure you're eating below your maintenance, and you can have McDonald's for breakfast, lunch and dinner and have the desserts. However, that food's not good for you. It's not healthy. The portions you're going to get for the calories they contain, you're not going to be eating much. Let me tell you that. We'll cover a bit of more of the high volume eating and the difference of like food and calories in certain foods later on, so you'll see what I'm talking about. But it is possible. It's possible to eat those foods and still lose weight. And with the calorie counting, I've learned so much. Before I started, I didn't even know what protein was. I'm not gonna lie, like I didn't know much at all. I didn't know anything, to be fair. So that's why I've learned so much, and I'm just like, I've got all this information and I need to show you, I need to tell you guys. And obviously no one wants to track for the rest of their life. I don't want to track for the rest of my life, I can tell you that. After doing it for a certain amount of time, you learn what 100 grams of pasta looks like, and because you've tracked it so many times, you know roughly how much calories that is, and you can end up eyeballing it. So there might be certain times I don't track and I don't put a lot of weight on, because over time I've really learned how to eat. High volume eating. So we did touch on that a little bit. High volume eating is basically certain foods, like say fruit and vegetables, they are lower in calories, so you can have a whole bowl of those and they will have the same amount of calories than a small chips from McDonald's. So this is 200 calories of nuts, and this is also 200 calories of watermelon. Now I know which one will fill me up more. This is 200 grams of berries, and this is 200 grams of nuts. This is the calorie difference. I will show you some of my favorite food swaps later on, but first of all, let's talk about protein. Why is it important to eat enough protein on your weight loss journey, or even if you're trying to bulk and gain muscle mass? Protein is important for maintaining a strong immune system as well as bones. It helps you feel fuller for longer, strengthens hair and nails, maintains muscle mass, and can be used as an energy source as well. So as you can see, protein has many benefits, but the main ones that people in the weight loss industry talk about, why it's important to eat it, is it helps you feel fuller for longer. So my favorite protein things are yogurts, milk, cheese, peanut butter, eggs. Cottage cheese is very high in protein. Meat and fish, more the sort of fillet side, or like chicken breast, white fish. These are more higher in protein and low in calories. For example, chicken breasts and chicken wings, they have different calories, and this is another example of high volume eating, because you'll get more of the chicken and more of the food in volume rather than a couple wings. So how much should I eat? An average adult needs 0.8 grams of protein per 1 kilo of body weight, or 0.3 grams per pound of body weight. If you're more active and lift weights regularly, or if you're training for a marathon or cycling event, it is recommended to eat 1.2 to 1.7 grams of protein per 1 kilo of body weight, or 0.5 to 0.8 grams per pound of body weight. For example, if I'm quite active and I weigh 80 kilos, I would go for 1.7 grams times 80, and that will give me 136 grams of protein per day. An example in pounds would be 176 pounds, which is the same as 80 kilos, but less active, which I would do 0.3 grams of protein times 176 pounds. That would give me 53 grams of protein per day. Now with this, the more you exercise, the more active you are, the more protein you need. I would aim for like a minimum of 100 grams, if I'm honest, for most people, unless you're really sat at home or in an office job and you don't go for any walks and you don't do nothing. Eat on the lower side of it, but if you're at least moving around a little bit, then I would say about 100 grams is like an average. So a quick rundown of like other macros like carbs, fats and fibre. Carbohydrates are found in a variety of foods such as breads, beans, potatoes, flour, pasta, fruits and vegetables. You need the carbs for energy. They're a good source of fibre, which we need for a healthy digestive system. Fibre is mainly a carbohydrate. The main role of fibre is to keep the digestive system healthy, obviously helps with the constipation. Unsaturated fats, so the healthy ones, are the best choice for a healthy diet. They can be found in fatty fish such as salmon, avocados, chia seeds, eggs, nuts and many more. These help the body absorb vitamin A, D and vitamin E. So when I first started, I mainly focused on calories, sort of to stay in your deficit, and then I thought about eating high protein, and then later on I was thinking about, you know, the balance between the carbs and the fats, and because that's a bit more advanced, you don't want to overwhelm yourself at the beginning. So if you're just starting off, I would say focus on your calories and eat the high protein. Comparisons / food swaps. Let me show you some of my favorite food swaps I did to help me lose weight. Ice cream, swap this for this. Massive difference in the calories, and it also has more protein. Mayo, this for this. You can actually have 10 times more, 10 times. Yogurts, this one for this one, it has less sugar and more protein, and you can also use other things to flavour it, like compotes, sugar-free syrups. Peanut butter, this for this, more protein, less calories. Love this one. I'll link it in the description. So I will be doing a NutraCheck tutorial, so that's the app I use for tracking in the upcoming videos, so stick around for that if you want to see. And I hope you found this video useful and helpful. Now, if you're interested in meal planning, food hauls, or what I eat in a day, then check out my last video. It was my first YouTube video actually. Check it out and let me know if you like it. Like this video, subscribe, ring the bell, all the good stuff. You know what to do. Don't forget to check out the links in the description, and thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.